Namaskar. From the times of great antiquity, one of the great curiosities of the mankind has been to make sense of our universe, to make sense of our existence. This curiosity has always led to a barrage of many existential queries, such as who am I? How the universe came into existence? What is that in me, that subliminal entity which sees the dreams even when I sleep? What are the senses and who controls them? From where did the journey of life begin and where will it take me? And so on. This quest of knowledge and realizations has been endless, passed on through words and actions, and newer perspectives thus gained. The evolution of this quest has been built upon interactions between individuals and generations. We see this being reflected in the thinking process of civilizations across eras and across the globe. We see this rumination in early Indian thought too, and Upanishads are one of the most prominent examples of that. Upanishads deal with all the above mentioned questions in their own way, or I would say in a path breaking way. And today, we are going to discuss the Upanishad that perhaps represents this innate curiosity and the never ending quest in the most immersive manner, the Prashnopanishad. Prashnopanishad belongs to the Pippalada branch of the Atharvaveda. Prashna means question or query, and if we consider the meaning of word Upanishad as sacred or esoteric knowledge, then we can interpret the title as exploring the answers to some pertinent questions. So let's see the beginning of Prashnopanishad. There are six sages: Sukesha Bharadwaja, Shaibya Satyakama, Gargya Sauryayani, Kausalya Ashvalayana, Vaidarbhi Bhargava, and Kabandhi Katyayana. So, in their quest of realizing the ultimate truth, these six sages approached a great sage named Pippalada, and they asked him some questions. Before we begin, we must recognize that this is not a general and a routine interaction. We are discussing the great tradition of Upanishads composed by sages who were devoted to the penance, who were devoted to vratas or vows, and devoted to the discovery of truth. Thus, the beginning portion of the Prashnopanishad says all six sages devoted to Brahman, Brahmaparaha, intent on Brahman, Brahmanishtaha, seeking the highest Brahman, Brahman Veshamanaha, approached the revered Pippalada. But it was not easy to glean knowledge from a sage like Pippalada. So when the six sages went to Pippalada, Rishi Pippalada asked them to live with him for 1 year and practice austerity with chastity and faith. And only then would Pippalada entertain their questions. So this is about the concept of adhikari. It means that the person seeking such knowledge ought to be eligible to gain it. He needs to be earnest and persistent, and only then will it be imparted. The six sages, therefore, lived there for the year. They performed austerities as instructed by Pippalada. And then, as the year ended, Sage Kabandhi asked the first question. His enquiry was about Utpatti, about how Praja, which means all living beings, was created. He asks, where and how are all these creatures born? Kuto hava imaha prajaha prajayante. So Pippalada replies to this question with a beautiful explanation. He says, it was Prajapati who created all beings, that is, the Praja. We can understand the word Prajapati as the Lord of creation. He created Praja because he was desirous of offspring. Praja kamo vai prajapati. So, how Prajapati created his creation? First, he performed penance, Satapaha atapyata, and then Prajapati produced two elements from tapas, Rai, the female principle, and Prana, the male principle. स तपस्तप्त्वा स मिथुनम उत्पादयते रयिंच प्राणंच इति. We can broadly translate the word Rai as matter and Prana is life force or breath. Prajapati produced the pair of Rai and Prana or matter and life, thinking that they would produce creatures for him. Etau me bahudha prajaha karishyata iti. This sentence is not only beautiful, but in it also holds gravitas that signify other dimensions of the process of creation. Please take a note. Here, the time and classification of time is equated with Lord of creation. Samvatsaro vai prajapati. The year or Samvatsara is the Lord of creation. It has two parts, Uttarayana and Dakshinayana. In this section, other two full units of time division are also identified with Prajapati. Masa, the month is Prajapati. The two units of month is Krishna Paksha and second one is Shukla Paksha. Krishna Paksha is identified with the feminine principle of Rai and Shukla Paksha is identified with Prana. In the same fashion, day and night are identified with Prajapati. In this pair, day is Prana Tattva and night is Rai Tattva. I think this pattern, this thought process, it is absolutely fascinating. Look at it as a tree of creation, its root and its multiplying branches. At the origin, it is Prajapati, the Lord of creation. It further branches out in pairs which represent the essence of Rai and Prana. So, these are the fundamentals of the creation of the universe which reflect on the principle of time, matter, and life energy. So, after discussing the theory of creation, Bhargava Vaidarbhi asks the second question. How many powers, Devaha, support the creation? Katyeva Devaha Prajaha Vidharayante. How many of them light up the universe? Katara Etat Prakashante. And who among them is the greatest? Kah punaresham varishthaha. Here, a crucial point is raised. When the beings are created, which powers do support these creatures? And the answer is the elements wind, fire, water, earth, speech, mind, eye, and ear, having illuminated the living being, sustain and support the physical body. So, Deva is a shining entity in which the senses are enumerated, and Prana is considered as superior to all, Varishtha. Also, Prana is called omnipresent. Then, Kausalya Ashvalayana put forth his questions in the next section. Where does Prana originate from? How is the life energy born? How does Prana take form and functions? And Rishi Pippalada answers, Prana originates from Atman, Atmana Esha Prano Jayate. And he also explains the five pranas, Udana, Apana, Samana, Vyana, and Prana. Here, Rishi Pippalada also explains how these pranas function in the human body. Here, it is also said that Atman resides in the heart, Rudhi Yesha Atma. This section of the text also discusses the Hridaya, heart, and its 100 nadis, channels, and about 72,000 sub-channels of each. Now, we come to an absolutely unique section of the Prashnopanishad. It deals with something that we all experience every day and often wonder about. It delves upon the state of sleep, state of dreaming, and the state of dreamless sleep. The discussion reveals the three states waking, that is Jagrat, dream, Swapna, and deep sleep, that is sushupti. So, what exactly happens when a person sleeps? The Prashnopanishad says all the senses merge into mind and become one with the mind in the state of sleep. Here, manas, the mind, is equated with God. Sarvam pare deve manasi eki bhavati. Therefore, in that state, the person hears nothing, sees nothing, smells nothing, tastes nothing, touches nothing, speaks nothing, and goes nowhere. Then it is called that the person is sleeping. In such a state of passivity, only prana remains awake in the sleep. Now consider this. If the person is so passive, passive to the point of ceasing to exist, then the question arises, who sees the dreams? In this state of sleep, the mind comes alive and experiences its own prowess. Mind experiences everything that have ever been experienced in every place, in every direction, and every cycle of time. Mind also experiences that which is not seen, heard, or experienced before. It is sublime and subliminal. It is surreal and ethereal. This is the state of swapna, the swapnavastha. But as beautiful as the swapnavastha sounds, there's something that lies beyond and is even more rewarding. It is a state of nothing, but in its nothingness is merged everything serene and elusive. Third state is called sushupti. Sushupti is the state of dreamless sleep. This state is considered as the most illuminating and enlightening one. It is said, when the mind is filled with the light tejas, then in this state of sushupti, the mind or manas sees no dreams. The state of dreamless and deep sleep is deemed a state of bliss in which all the senses attain the highest realm of reality. Sarvam para atmani sampratishtante. The next section of this Upanishad deals with questions regarding Pranava, the Omkara. In this discussion, Omkara is called Brahma. Omkara is both Para and Apara Brahma. In this section, Omkara-sadhana with its three matras A, U, and Ma is explained. After this discussion, in the last and sixth section of Prashnopanishad, the concept of Shodash-kala Purusha is discussed. Shodash-kala Purusha resides in the body with 16 kalas. Here, the concept of kalas denotes elements. The concept of Shodash-kala Purusha actually reflects on the journey of a soul at the culmination of which it unites with the Supreme Soul. This is cyclical journey of a soul. Where it comes from is where it merges. Here, Prashnopanishad gives a beautiful metaphor. When rivers flowing towards the ocean, upon meeting the ocean, disappear and lose their innate properties, they cease to exist as themselves and simply become the ocean. These 16 elements of Purusha, tending towards the ultimate reality, upon reaching there, similarly disappear. They lose their shape, their forms, and their names. The sum parts become whole and become the Purusha. When Prashnopanishad equates the Prajapati or origin of the creation with time, the Kala, it hints at the infinity. And if we consider the main concepts of Prashnopanishad, the creation, the Kala, Prana, which is energy, Rai, which is matter, and the Purusha, the soul, the text reveals various elements of eternity and infinity, infinities, infinite, both in their scope and experience. The infinity within us, that is the soul, and the infinity beyond that is space. The infinity that is only partially experienced, time, and the infinity that makes us the matter. So, this is the Prashnopanishad, and this is the way in which it takes us through the origin of the creation, its forms and functions, the importance of Prana, significance of Omkara-sadhana, discussion of the blissful state of mind that is sushupti, and the last pilgrimage of Purusha, that is, uniting with the ultimate reality. Itisham.